Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this sharing session. I am Ruoxi, your host for today, and the three speakers here include Peiyan,
Hi.
followed by Jiarun,
Hi.
and last but not least, Hanyu.
Hi.
Before we begin with today's sharing session, do allow me to set a few ground rules. Please be respectful in the live chat room, and audience with inappropriate comments will be removed from this live event. Next, I will give a brief overview of today's sharing session. The three students here will be sharing their experiences during their transition from primary school to secondary school. This will include their current chosen CCA, the unique curriculums or courses provided by their respective schools, as well as school facilities and how exams are conducted. 大家晚上好，感谢大家抽出时间来参加今天的分享会。我们今天会有3位同学跟大家分享从小学到中学过渡的心路历程，这包括了各自所选的课外活动、学校特色课程与活动，还有学校设施以及自己学校的考试制度。他们会根据这几个方面来谈谈自己的体验和感受。Before we start our sharing, let me start off by introducing myself. I'm Ruoxi from Raffles Girls School, and my interests include reading, singing, and playing badminton. 在跟大家分享之前，我会先做个自我介绍。我是Ruoxi，你们今天的主持人。我目前就读于来佛士女中。我平时喜欢阅读、唱歌和打羽毛球。Next, allow me to introduce the first speaker of today, Peiyan. He is from Huazhong Institution, and he enjoys reading, sports, as well as food. 第一位跟大家分享的同学是来自华侨中学的裴岩。在空闲的时间，他喜欢读书、运动和品尝美食。Now, Peiyan will start his sharing.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sun Peiyan, and I come from Huazhong Institution. So this is actually my introduction. My primary school was Nanyang Primary School, and as you can see now, I'm in Huazhong Institution. Today, I'm going to introduce my secondary school life to all of you. So the picture above, as you can see on the left, is actually a picture of our school clock tower. It's actually also a monument, and there's a statue right in front of it, as you guys can see, and it's actually a statue of Tan Kaki, Huazhong Institution's founder. The MRT station near our school is also named after him. You guys might not know this, but Huazhong was actually founded in 1919, and so it was our 100-year anniversary last year, and that's the 100-year anniversary logo. So I'm going to start off with an interesting fact. So when you enter Huazhong, you will be split into different consortiums: affiliate, iSpark, authors, co-ed, and you'll be split into different classes in these consortiums, such as 1A1, 194, 103, and 1P2. On your right hand side is actually the logos of each consortium. Next, I'm gonna introduce our school facilities. So one thing I'm very proud about as a Huazhong student is that we actually have a 3 canteen. 3. So we have one high school canteen, one canteen over at the college side, and then another one at the international school side. So I would say that the college school food is honestly the best food I've ever tasted before. And like their Western store, their Japanese store, oh my God, bro, it's making my saliva come out. Okay, sorry. So there's 3 canteens, and over at the international school side, there's also bubble tea. And though you have to walk quite a distance from your classrooms in high school section to both of these canteens, I'll say it's worth it. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to try the international school food canteen as due to COVID, you are not allowed to cross over to other sections. There's also many basketball courts, indoors or outdoors. However, the indoors basketball court is actually over at college side. So again, we have to play basketball under the hot sun. There's also a street soccer court and many ping pong tables, a place where you can conduct science research at, or makerspace. So what's makerspace? Makerspace is actually a place where it's filled with tools and materials such as cardboard, scissors, glues, and you can conduct all your hands-on work there for your different projects. Because when you get into secondary school, uh, you are going to do many projects. There's also a boarding school, and for a place like where scholars can live in, and there's also a sort center. So this is a sort center. The sort center is actually named after Singapore's fifth president, Ong Teng Cheong, and it's called Ding Chang Lo. And there's many facilities inside, such as like a conference room, this sort of a debate kind of thing, and there's also many classrooms. There's even a ping pong room. There's also a outdoor basketball court over there, and there's also a black box, which is very unique to me and holds a lot of meaning to me, as is where my CCA is usually conducted at. Moving us to our next topic, CCA. So my CCA is Chinese drama, 华港剧坊. And as you guys can see, this is the logo of my CCA. And every CCA has its own shirt, and ours one is iconically black, as it's a tradition. That's what the president told us. And there's 2 days of CCA per week and around 3 hours per CCA session. So people might ask, what do we do in Chinese drama? Do you guys just rehearse for different celebrations and different performances? You're wrong. Actually, there's no performance being put up this year due to COVID-19, obviously. So during CCA, we conduct many acting sessions, and like we train our vocals for like vocalization, and which help us project our voices. So during last year, which was obviously our 100-year anniversary, Chinese drama actually put up a big performance. And I heard from my senior that they had to rehearse for 7 hours per day after school, after school, just for that performance. So due to COVID, we haven't been able to put up any performance. And if the restrictions continue this year, next year, it'll be the same. So sadly, yeah. We are currently preparing for our next year's CCA orientation. So in Hwa Chong, you are only allowed to join one CCA, and you are only allowed to join one CCA, and the CCA orientation is event where the CCA itself introduces themselves to the freshmen, like you guys, maybe P6 this year and Tech 1s next year. And the thing about the CCA orientation is you actually get to know the CCA better, and like during the CCA orientation this year, which I attended, Huagang actually put up a scary show where like all the actors acted as ghosts and tried to scare you guys. So if you want to get into our CCA, you have to trial for it, obviously, and even for other CCAs, you have to trial for it. So I enjoy my CCA a lot, obviously, and if next time you guys have a chance, do have interest in joining Chinese drama. So next is the events that I have attended in secondary school. The first one will obviously be SOO, which is Sec 1 orientation. Sec 1 orientation is the first event that you attend, and it's an event where buddies and facilitators bring you around the school to familiarize the different facilities around the school. And and you also play some team bonding games with your orientation mates during the while of that. So what I like about Hwa Chong's orientation is that they don't immediately split you into different classes, into your respective classes, but they actually form you randomly into different orientation groups. So you will get to know more of your schoolmates and more of the people in your cohort. Another event that so during the SO we actually had a string competition. So here's a picture of it, and I'm gonna show you guys a video of it. So you guys might have heard the buddy sadly he definitely lost his voice after that shriek, you know. So many people lose their voice after this, but it's also a very fun event as you actually get to bond with your orientation mates and strike a friendship with them. As most of the time you spend in orientation, you actually like practice a lot of cheers, and there are a lot of cheers, yeah, a lot. So the next event that the whole cohort actually attended together is the SODC, which is the Secondary 1 Day Camp. Secondary 1 Day Camp was actually reduced to a day camp after it was a 3-day camp in term 1, but due to COVID, it got reduced. And this day camp was after end of year examinations, which was actually a good time to bond with your classmates. And then we completed like team bonding games uh, in this camp. We also played like soccer. We played a lot of soccer uh, and basketball and some ping pong also. So other events here are actually like confined to consortium vibes. So like different consortiums actually host different events. I'm actually in Otters, so the Otter Celebrates is actually an event where um, after EOYs, everyone's relaxing. So um, uh, the class would put up a performance together and then, you know, perform in front of all the teachers, which is actually, yeah, it's, you get to show your talents and all that stuff. You also can perform individually. Yeah. Next is MDC. So March Day Camp is actually an event confined to counselor in training. So this is an event which would like all the senior counselors will introduce themselves to you. Like if you want to join council in secondary school, please do, because it would be a fun experience. So next one is NDC. NDC is actually a National Day concert where everyone, the whole cohort, watched people perform, but it was actually hosted by Otter, so I put it in here. Yeah. So for SO, I'm actually a counselor. So like next year, if you guys get into Hwa Chong, I might be your buddy next year. Yeah. So the unique curriculums I have in school. The first one is Infocom. Infocom, uh, Infocom is something that you have to learn in Hwa Chong, and it's actually counted in your MSG. So this year in Infocom, I actually learned two coding languages, which is C++ and HTML. And I also learned a little bit about the history of AI intelligence. Uh, um, you actually have to attend regular tests about this on this subject. So please take note, please listen during Infocom lesson, because it's actually quite useful, to be honest. Now I think I can code a little bit on C++. Yeah. So next is the thinking program. Thinking program is actually it's actually a subject. I wouldn't say it's a subject, it's a course, because there's no test or what. It's a course for you to attend, and which is compulsory in our timetable. And the teacher would actually point out your thinking fallacies, like how you, and teach you how to correctly think. or like and point out like why there's a thinking gap between this and why is that so. So she also teaches you like how to identify data how to identify useful data, and how to actually make a good PPT. Yeah. So thirdly, it will be Chinese literature, 华文文学. So I think I'm not sure, but I think only Hwa Chong has Chinese literature, and so uh, I am actually attending Chinese literature because I'm bilingual DSA, and it's compulsory for me to attend it. So I've studied myths, history of myths and legends, and some poems, all in Chinese. Yeah. So and I also read the Little Prince book during Chinese literature. So if you have a particular interest in history, you might want to attend this because it really tells you more and lets you learn more like other than the usual subjects. Yeah, but this is all in Chinese. Yeah. AEP Art Elective Program. I'm actually not in AEP, but uh, I know of its presence. There is actually an AEP program. So people who like art and want to pursue more in art, maybe you can come to Hwa Chong, and there's an AEP program. Lastly is sabbaticals. Sabbaticals is also very unique to Hwa Chong, as sabbaticals takes place 4 times a year, and it takes place after each term. So like sabbaticals is a course which allows you to learn a new skill or basically any other thing like pottery or music. But unfortunately, due to COVID, I haven't been able to attend sabbaticals. Yeah. So maybe next year I would. So last but not least, how are exams being carried out in secondary school? So um, something unique in Hwa Chong is that exemption, 年考. Uh, some of you might have heard it, but I'm going to explain it to you. So what is exemption? Exemption is like an express pass in Universal Studios. So you don't need to attend the end of year examinations, and they will just give you a A1, which is 100. Yeah, they will just give you full marks for that particular subject. And so after hearing that, maybe a lot of you might be very happy, like, yay, I don't need to study for the last exam, which is the most important exam of the year. And then maybe some of you might ask, like, how how do you obtain exemption? So will have to obtain like straight A1s, and your daily work must be near to perfect. Yeah. So there are also common tests and class tests conducted for each subject. So there are 2 common tests and one class test for languages, and 1 common test and 1 class test for other subjects like math and science in this case. And in Hwa Chong, we actually learn like history 1 semester and geography 1 semester. So we don't learn it like learn it we don't learn it in the same semester. We will split it up. So like for example, this year I had history in the first semester and geography in the second semester. So the weightage of the languages for languages, the weightage of the common test and class test would be like each 10%, and then the EOY would be 70%, and the weightage of class test and common test for math and science will be 15% and 15% each, and 70% rule for EOY. Yeah. So lastly will be MSG. So people might ask, how do you actually calculate your overall score, like in total in secondary school? So Hwa Chong uses MSG, mean subject grade, but it's different to some schools like later you'll hear about RI, which uses GPA. So uh, let's say you obtain 74 for English. So as in the graph on the graph here, we'll say like 70 to 74, which is A2, and the grade point is 2. So when the grade point is, you will add up all the grade points you get, and then you divide it by the number of subjects that you take, and that's how you get your that's how you calculate your MSG. So do note that actually subjects like project work, project work is actually a subject in secondary school, and they will give like A1 or A2 in it. Do know that project work is actually counted in your MSG and Infocom too, but there are also like subjects that you can opt out for your MSG, which is like third language. Yeah. Hence, like the lower your MSG is, the better it is. 1.0 is definitely the lowest you can get. So hope you guys enjoyed my presentation, and thank you.
Thank you, Peiyan, for your sharing. 感谢培妍的分享。在下一位同学开始他的分享之前，请让我先简单总结一下培妍的分享。他首先介绍了学校的设施，这包括了3个食堂、篮球场、街头足球场、乒乓球台、科学研究中心、创客空间、寄宿学校和 SALT 中心。其次，他分享了他的课外活动华港剧坊，这是一个华文戏剧社，每周会有2次3小时的排练。之后他又介绍了他在华中参加过的活动。中学活动非常丰富，这包括了中一的迎新会、3月份的一个露营、国庆表演、中一新生露营和 Autos 庆祝活动。接着他继续介绍了学校必修的课程，还有华中独特的选修课程。华中的学生必须学信息科学，他从中学到了 C++ 和 HTML 2种编程语言。其他的独特课程包括培养思辨能力的课程、中国文化、艺术选修课程和学习新技能的课程。最后，他介绍了一下中一的考试模式。比较特别的是华中的免考制度。如果你在第1到第3学期的考试取得 A1， 也就是 75% 的成绩，你就能取得那个科目的免考权。Next, we'll be having the next speaker, Jiarun, who is from Raffles Institution. He likes to draw, swim, and enjoy food in his spare time. 接下来，今天的第2位同学是来自来佛士书院的Jiarun，他的爱好包括画画、游泳和美食。Let's welcome Jiarun.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jiarun, and welcome to Miao November event. This is my introduction. My primary school was originally Frontier Primary School before I transferred to Henry Park Primary School after being in Frontier Primary School for 3 years. After taking PSLE, I managed to get into Raffles Institution. Next, I'll be sharing with you guys about our school's special facilities. As Raffles Institution is humongous in my opinion, we have many unique facilities. Today, I'll be sharing a few of them with you. Firstly, we have a few auditoriums. So what is an auditorium and what are the auditoriums for? So basically, auditoriums are basically a hall but with a long flight of stairs with seats. Usually, the auditoriums are for students who have public speakings or for them to take part in important examinations such as the EOIs. However, because of COVID-19, I was not able to experience it this year. Secondly, we have a swimming pool which is 49 meters long, and this is the swimming pool. So basically, the swimming pool is for students to take part in a course that is a term in our physical education classes for a year in the school. It is also for students who are in the swimming CCA to practice swimming every morning. Lastly, we also have the 7 food stalls in the canteen. So in RI, there are 2 canteens. One is the year 1 to 4 canteen, which I'm talking about, and the other one is a year 5 to 6 canteen. Due to COVID-19, I was only able to access the 7 food stores in the year 1 to 4 canteen. However, nevertheless, I'm still very grateful because the food served in the year 1 to 4 canteen is very delicious in my opinion, and I think a lot of my peers think so too. Personally, my favorite food store is the Japanese store, as I am a fan of Japanese food, and the Japanese store also has the most variety of food. One of my favorites from the Japanese store is the ramen and the curry rice. In addition, all refugees are also very thankful for the uncle and aunties who work every day so that the students in RI do not starve. Adding on to the 7 food stores in the year 1 to 4 canteen, we also have access to the convenience store that's in RI, which is called Chill, and it sells a lot of nice snacks and drinks. And most of all, it also sells waffles, one of the top picks of the students in Raffles. Additionally, there is also a Professor Brown cafe and a bubble tea shop, which is Gongchai in the school campus. However, due to COVID-19, year 1 to 4 students were not allowed to go there because it was in the year 5 to 6 site. All in all, I really enjoy the unique facilities in our school. Next, I'll be talking about the events that are held in RI. In Raffles Institution, there are many special events that are held throughout the year. However, due to COVID-19, I was only able to experience a few of them. First of all is the Kiwi Cup. So many of you might be wondering, what is the Kiwi Cup? So as you can see in this picture, the Kiwi Cup is a rugby competition that is held between Raffles Institution and St. Joe's Institution. This year, we traveled to St. Joe's Institution to cheer our peers and seniors on with the famous Refusion cheer, and all the students there were very proud of the players, as they had very good sportsmanship and teamwork. It was very enjoyable, and despite our school not achieving victory, we all had a very fun time. Second of all, we also have the orientation camps. So what is the orientation camps for? The orientation camp is basically a compulsory camp for all year 1 students who just joined RI. The orientation camp is a 3-day and 2-night stay in the school campus. And during the camp, there's a lot of interactive games that the students have to play with their peers from their class so that they can bond friendships that will last them throughout the years in RI. In the camp, students also get to learn a few life skills, such as how to pitch tents and live independently. I personally enjoyed the orientation camp because I bonded with a lot of the classmates that I was not very familiar to, because when I just joined the school, I had no idea who everyone was because very little students from my primary school joined RI, and no one from my previous primary school was in my class, so I had to make new friendships. So I think this orientation camp really helped me in making new friendships with my new classmates. Last of all, I'll be talking about our inter-house competitions. So one special thing about RI is its history. Since RI is the oldest school in Singapore, it has a lot of history, and the houses that are in RI are actually named after important people that have been in RI before. The houses are Buckley, Bailey, Morrison, Moore, and Hallett. By the way, my house is Hallett if you were wondering. So the inter-house competitions is basically various competitions held in the school year, such as photography competitions and track and field competitions. Students from each class can represent the house and compete in the competitions, and if they achieve first place or second place, etc., they can gain points for the house. The house that has the most points at the end of the year will have the satisfaction of winning. Yay! Next, I'll be talking about my CCA. So in RI, that it offers the most number of CCAs compared to any other school, which is very special. In RI, there's also a system where there's one compulsory CCA that students have to take part in, and the other CCA is a merit CCA. To get into a compulsory CCA, students have to apply for auditions, and if they make the audition, they can apply for the CCA if they choose it. For the merit CCA, all students can apply for the club that they want to join. So if you were wondering, my compulsory CCA is shooting. So shooting is like actually shooting with guns, and basically it's us using real guns to shoot pellets onto a piece of paper and gaining points for ourselves. It requires a lot of body strength and concentration, so hence it's very challenging, but it's also very fun, and it's also very satisfying when we shoot the pellets onto the piece of paper. If you have the chance to do so, I strongly encourage that you try out shooting. My merit CCA is photography and art club, and I joined photography and art club because I find pleasure in photography and art. So what does the photography and art club do? One very special thing that the photography and art club does is during special events, the photography and art club takes very nice photos and videos of the school. Hence, it's very special, and it really helps in taking photos and videos of the memories that students make in RI. Next, I'll be talking about the unique curriculums that we have in RI. So one of the unique curriculums is philosophy. Many of you are wondering, what is philosophy? Because I know that most schools do not have this. I understand your feeling. So philosophy is actually very simple if you understand it. It's basically finding the meaning in questions that are hard to understand, and also finding mistakes in certain questions, such as the mistakes in the accuracy and the relevance of the question. Personally, I like philosophy because it allows me to have a stronger thinking ability, and I think it's very useful in the real world. In addition, we also have computer studies. Many of you might know what computer study is, so I wouldn't be explaining too much of it. Computer studies is basically students who can learn coding. In RI, we have one term where we have computer studies lessons for 2.5 hours a week. This year in RI, the year 1 students were able to learn about Python and a few codes that we can use in Python. I found myself enjoying Python because in Python, I managed to use the codes to make very nice pictures, and it was very fun, and I found myself enjoying it after the hard part, which is understanding how to use the codes. Some of my friends even managed to master the codes, and I'm very proud of them. Moving on, I'll be talking about how exams are conducted in RI. So this is the question that you guys may be wondering. How are exams conducted in RI? So exams are normally conducted in the auditoriums, as I have mentioned before, but due to COVID-19, the exams were only able to be conducted in the classrooms. In Term 1, which is WA1, the weightage of WA1 is 10%. And in Term 2 and Term 3, there's WA2 and WA3, which are respectively, and both have the weightage of 15% each. In Term 4, we have the most important exam of the year, which is the EOYs, and it has a weightage of 60%. Since every exam has a very high weightage, students in RI are strongly encouraged to do their best in every exam. Now I'll be sharing with you guys about our grade point system. So as Peiyan talked about earlier, he said that Huazhong has the MSG system. Well, RI, in contrary, has the grade point system. So if we achieve the marks of 80 and above, we get the grade of A+, which we get the grade point of 4.0. If we achieve 70 to 79, we get the grade of A, and it's the grade point of 3.6. If we get 65 to 69, we get B+, and it's 3.2, and so on. I have put a graph here so that you guys can look at it and understand the grade point system. In RI, after calculating our marks in the year, we will know our grade point for each subject, and we can choose 6 of our best subjects to be counted in our GPA, which is a grade point average. So in RI, what are the 6 subjects that we have to choose? So 4 subjects are compulsory, and those are science, mathematics, mother tongue, and English. And the 2 other subjects are 2 of the 3 humanities subjects, which are history, literature, and geography. When we are calculating our GPA, we put in the subjects that we have the highest grade point in, and the highest grade point average that we can achieve is 4.0, and that in every year only a few students can achieve 4.0 because it's very hard, because we have to score 80 and above for all the subjects that are counted in our grade point average. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope that after listening to my presentation, you will be encouraged to come to RI. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Jiarun, for your sharing. 让我们感谢Jiarun的分享。首先，他介绍了来佛士书院的设施，这包括了礼堂、游泳池和7个食堂的摊位。接下来，他分享了他参与的各种活动，这包括了 Kiwi Cup、迎新露营和班级之间的摄影和甜心竞赛。他还分享了他目前的课外活动、射击、摄影还有绘画俱乐部。来佛士有很多其他学校没有的独特课程，这包括了哲学和计算机课程 Python。最后，他分享了考试模式，第1个学期占 10%， 第2和第3个学期都占 15%， 最后的年终考试占最高的比例 60%。来佛士书院使用 GPA 来统计学生的成绩，最高的分数是 GPA 4.0， 这意味着7门科目都要考 80% 和以上。Lastly, we'll be having the last speaker of the day, Hanyu. She is from Nanyang Girls High and she likes reading, playing the piano and badminton. 最后一位是来自南洋女中的韩语，她喜欢阅读、弹琴和打羽毛球。韩语 will now begin her sharing.
Good evening, everyone. I am Jiarun and I'm from. Huh? Good evening, everyone. I am Jiarun from Nanyang Girls High School. I was from Raffles Girls Primary School. Today, I am going to introduce my school and how to transition from primary school to secondary school. Nanyang has some special features which I like very much. The curriculum is prepared meticulously. The good facilities and food ensure the students have a happy school life. Nanyang is a Special Assistance Plan (SAP) school. This means that it has a bilingual special program (BSP) for students who are interested in both languages. Therefore, there is also a good Chinese culture environment in Nanyang. We have a unique curriculum which is prepared carefully by the teachers to cater to the students' abilities and needs. We do a lot of projects with the knowledge we learned in class, like the concepts and the methods. Our exams are like this. For the first 3 terms, there is a WA each term, and in term 4, there is an end of year exam. The projects for English, Chinese, Math, and Science normally happen in the WAs. For example, for term 2, English, we did a storytelling performance where we had to choose a story, write out a script, and act the story out. Even for math, we can do a project. For term 3, we did a statistics project where we went online to search for misleading statistics and point out the mistakes. For geography and history, there is a geography investigation and history investigation for the end of year exam. It is a big project where we have to go online to find resources, survey and interview people, and collect and analyze the data to make a poster or a newspaper. It also trains our teamwork because we work in groups of 4. Projects are very useful because in our future work life, we will not have exams, but we will need to do some projects. So learning the skills now is a very good thing. There are some good facilities in Nanyang. There's a very creatively built new building with special rooms that can join together to form a large room. It is great for interactive learning and activities. For example, the Sec2's Drama Fest is held there. It is this green grass patch you see in front of the school. There is a big library with lots of resources. There's a printer and conducive learning classrooms on the 3rd floor of the library. The library is huge with 3 floors and all genres of books and magazines, some of which you might need for your GI and HI. There is a cozy Student Activity Center, SAC, near the canteen. It is a very nice place with comfortable chairs and tables for students to bond and relax during recess. A nice auntie called Auntie Shirley manages the SAC, and she's also the school counselor. There is a good Chinese culture atmosphere in Nanyang. The school facilities are named in Chinese. We say the pledge in Chinese every Thursday. There are lots of Chinese sayings on the wall. For example, in the canteen, there is 一粥一饭，党是来之不易；半丝半缕，行内物力维艰。 It tells us to save food and resources. There are lots of Chinese competitions in Nanyang, like 微型小说比赛、诗歌比赛, and many more. The students are encouraged to participate in these competitions. Overall, because of the good environment, most students in our school love Chinese. If you like Chinese and want to improve, you are surely like Nanyang. Nanyang has some interesting CCAs which also show the Chinese culture. There is Chinese debate, dragon and lion dance troupe, which is for special occasions like Chinese New Year, and Chinese calligraphy CCA. Their works of art are put up all over the school, which makes a calm, conducive learning environment. There is Nature Society CCA, which emphasizes a lot on zero waste, so our school is also very eco-friendly. I am in Mind Sports Chess. Mind Sports has 3 sections: chess, Othello, and Scrabble. For chess, we have 2 times a week of CCA, and even during the COVID-19, we could still go online to play chess with the many convenient chess apps, so we were not affected. There are some interesting subjects in Nanyang. There is food studies, which is a subject on nutritional health and how to cook. There is a kitchen on the 4th floor of Nanyang, and we have our food studies lessons there. We also learn teamwork because we work in groups of 2. Nutritional health is very important. We need to live a healthy lifestyle. There is appreciation of Chinese culture, ACC. It is in term 1, we learned about the history of China, and in the other terms, we learned about Chinese culture in Singapore, like the food and the buildings. There is maker class, which is a handiwork class. This year we made a cardboard hat. We also have dance class, and this year we will learn Chinese dance. For food studies, maker, dance, and music, which is another subject in Nanyang, it is only for half a year, and it's only in lower side. There is good food in Nanyang. There's a ban mian stall which sells very healthy noodles in large quantities, so you will be very full. There is a Japanese food stall which sells nice Japanese cuisine, and many students love it. You need good food to study well. Another good point about our school is that we start school at 8:20 a.m. That's an hour later than most other schools. So the students can sleep more and generally have enough sleep. Good food combined with good sleep, we will be energized for the day. How to transition from primary school to secondary school happily. Make new friends by being open and considerate. If you see your friends struggling with homework, help them. Study efficiently and study hard. Don't be complacent. Seek help if you need. In Nanyang, we can go to book for consultations with the teachers. Participate actively in activities. For example, there are many Chinese competitions in our school. You will not only understand the school culture better, but make new friends and improve yourself in the process. Thank you. Hope you consider coming to Nanyang and have a great time in secondary school. Thank you.
韩语 ，Thank you for your sharing。韩语，谢谢你的分享。首先，他介绍了学校的课程和考试比重。在南洋女中的中一，我们会学和小学一样的4门核心课程，再加上地理和历史。前2个学期的考试占10%，第3学期占20%，最后1个学期占最高的比重60%。南洋女中的设施包括一栋新楼、非常大的图书馆和学生活动中心。南洋女中拥有非常浓厚的华文氛围，学校的设施都用华文命名，墙壁上也有很多华文的名言。每个星期四，学生们都会用华文宣誓。学校也会组织很多华文的比赛给大家参与。韩语的课外活动是国际象棋。南洋女中其中一个非常有趣的课外活动是舞龙舞狮团。南洋女中也有自己独特的课程，比如说食物研究、中华文化欣赏、艺术课和舞蹈。最后，韩语建议大家保持开心的心态，努力学习，并且积极参与各种学校的活动，这样我们就可以从容应对从小学到中学的转变。Now that we've come to the end of the sharing, let's welcome all the speakers back on stage. We will now begin with the Q&A session, where I will ask a few questions that have been collected from parents. The first question will be answered by Hanyu. After PSLE, how do you plan your time during the holidays? 小六会考之后，你是如何安排假期生活的？
After PSLE, we had 3 months of free time. I read a lot of Chinese and English books. For example, I read the Chinese book 金庸射雕英雄传 and I read the English book Gone with the Wind. I also went to travel with my parents. We went to China 2 times to go back to my grandma's house and also visit new places like Suzhou and Yunnan. I also picked up new hobbies like Chinese calligraphy.
Thank you, Hanyu, for her sharing. So basically, Hanyu read a lot of books, and she also traveled to new places and learned new skills during the holiday. Then the next question will be for Peiyan. How do most students plan their time? Is it possible to sleep before 9? 中学大多数学生的作息时间是如何安排的？还可能9点之前睡觉吗？
在中学其实你很忙，9点之后睡觉就是有点不可能。对，因为在中学你有很多课外活动，包括什么 CCA 呀，什么，还有些人有第3语言，还有像我有什么华文文学呀这种，所以有时候要待在学校待到大概4点5点多，所以你到家就得6点多了。但是第3语言那天你是7点放学，然后你到家就有可能8点多了，所以你再吃一下晚饭就是9点。我觉得大家应该有效率的去学习，因为这会减少你在学习上用的时间，然后呢你就可以更好的休息，就是早点去睡，就是明天早上上课的时候有更充沛的精神。
Thank you, Peiyan, for his sharing. So basically, he thinks it's not very possible for students to sleep before 9, as many students have a lot of CC activities, and students with third language will have to reach home at around 7, and after you finish your dinner, it'll be around 8 to 9. So it'll be quite hard to sleep before 9 o'clock in secondary school. A suggestion he has is to study and not procrastinate too much. That way you won't drag your homework too late, and you can sleep earlier. The next question is for Jiarun. Do you think secondary school students require tuition classes? 你认为中学生还需要上补习班吗？
我个人认为，中学生是否 要上补习班得看要补习的是哪些科目。我个人认为，像语言这类的科目，比如华文和英文，就应该不用补习了，因为补习华文和英文应该是不需要的，因为在课程当中，老师已经会给我们充分的时间与练习来让我们巩固知识了。可是像科学和数学这类的科目，学生们要花更多时间与精力来做练习，才可以得到好成绩。所以我认为，如果学生要上补习的话，文科应该是不用的。可是呢，像数学和英文这类的科目就可以上一些补习来让他们的知识让他们对自己学到的知识有更大的把握。
Thank you, Jiarun. So basically, his suggestion is to have tuition for like mathematics and science and not languages, as languages will be covered by the school and you won't need that much help for it. However, for the science and math, maybe if you have tuition, it will help you like better grasp the topics. The next question is for Jiarun again. How much time is normally spent on finishing a homework? Is it possible to sleep before 9? 一般要花多少时间完成功课呢？同问9点能睡觉，9点之前能睡觉吗？
因为刚才我们分享时已经分享到了，在中学生活中，我们有许多科目，所以因此留下来的功课也会比小学更多。在小学里，学生们已经要花很多时间来做功课了，所以在中学里，我个人经过个人的体验，我认为做功课时我们通常会需要2到3个小时来完成，可是这也是要看个人的效率与学校，有些学校与老师会留比较少的作业，可是有些学校就会留的更多。有些学生效率也没有其他的高，有可能就会做功课做得更慢。刚才裴燕也说过了，在中学里有许多课程辅助活动与第三语言，所以呢，我们应该9点前应该不可以睡觉了。
Thank you, Jiarun. So Jiarun thinks that it's also not very possible to sleep before 9, as the workload in secondary school is definitely more than primary school, and the time you spend in primary school was quite a lot, especially during PSI period with a lot of homework. So in secondary school, you'll probably need to spend more time, especially like you need to write your notes and do the projects your teacher assigns for you. The next question is for Peiyan. Many parents have heard that the syllabus in secondary schools are very different. Do you have any suggestions on how primary 6 students can prepare for secondary school during the holidays, especially for literature and English? 听说每间中学的教材都不同，有没有什么意见？有没有什么建议怎样从假期开始准备中一的学科，特别是英文和英国文学？
对，每间中学的教材其实都不同，然后怎样准备中学的？我觉得首先是我先说数学吧，因为数学其实在中学还不是会特别难，所以我建议大家去买1到2个数学的中一练习册，然后去试着去做一下。对，看前面的解说去做一下，但是当然不要把全部的时间放进学习里，因为就是小6的嘛，刚考完，所以我觉得应该还是要给他们放松。第二就是英文， 我刚刚提到的英国文学，其实在华中的文学课程里面，我们其实是学的诗经一些诗经啊，然后呢和一些很短的故事类型，然后老师会在考试的时候给你题目给你问题，然后你就要去答。我觉得在这种情况下，因为我知道华中其实是一个特例，因为我们是读这种的，然后呢，但是我知道别的学校其实读书的，读什么指环王啊这种，所以我觉得先去看一下你中医的时候要学的是什么文学，对，学的是什么书籍，然后把那个书籍买下来，然后去阅读一下，这样到时候学的时候就不会有太大的困难，对，会很容易去理解。然后呢，华文就是说，华文其实在中学的时候会有很多陌生的词语啊、词语字啊，然后还有一些成语你有可能不理解，所以我建议大家还是要去多读一些华文书，对，去提高一下自己的华文水平，然后呢，让自己去认识更多的华文字啊、词啊，然后更多的成语。最后就是科学，我觉得科学在中学的时候就是靠背的，所以我建议学生们可以也去像数学一样去购买一些练习册，对，然后呢抽出一点点时间去做一下，去试着去做，对，试着去理解，对，因为在中学呃各个学校学的东西都不一样，对，很难去找什么补习这一类的。
Thank you, Peiyan. So he shared that for like different subjects, maybe there are different methods to study for it. For example, for English literature, different schools have different syllabus and like different books or like poems that you're learning. So if you're already sure what school you're going to, then you can go buy the book or like the poems they're going to use that year and you can look through it. Then for math and science, you can buy some books from Popular and then try out the questions and then you can check the answer and try to learn on your own first. Then for Chinese, you can look at the different types of 成语 and try to understand like all the more difficult words. But then do remember to also enjoy yourself after PSI because you did work hard in P6. So as there's a time limit to this sharing session, there won't be enough time to answer everyone's question. However, if you still want to clarify some of your doubts, you can scan the code here to enter the WeChat group or Telegram and raise your questions there. 由于时间的原因，我们很遗憾不能回答你们所有的问题。如果你们还有其他问题，你们可以扫一下这一页的二维码，在微信群或 Telegram 继续提问。We've come to the end of the sharing session. I will now invite Betty back on stage.
Thanks, Ruoxi, Peiyan, Jiarun, and Hanyu for the awesome job today. Let's give them a big round of applause, everyone. Yeah, in the live chat room. Sorry, for all of them, they can't see the live chat room yet, but later they will be checking checking all your messages has left for them. And 非常感谢今天孩子们的分享，他们花了将近1个月的时间来筹备整场活动，不断的去讨论，去修改他们的内容，也预演。当然，我们也希望大家给他们热烈的掌声。Okay, so I would like to and also give yourself a big round of applause. Okay, so and I would like to specially thank Jiarun because it's actually his birthday today. Yeah, so thanks Jiarun for taking up your special time for your birthday and spend this 1 hour with everyone and wish you a big happy birthday and let's sing a song together for him, all right? Yeah, in the live chat room or you can message, but everybody in the chatting, sorry, I didn't tell you in advance, so I will just call out, okay, happy birthday to you. Can we sing together? Yeah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jiarun. Happy birthday to you. Okay, Yeah, so thank you everyone. Sorry, Ruoxi, I don't have. Oh, okay, sorry, I clicked wrongly. Well, I give to myself. Okay, so yeah, okay, so yeah, and thanks all the parents and the students who take out the precious Saturday night to spend this 1 hour with us. And our next event is actually next Saturday, so that will be So the next Saturday, and 非常感谢各位家长和同学们抽出宝贵的时间来和我们度过这个周六的晚上。然后希望呢大家的分享也能够孩子们的分享也能够帮助到其他的同学。然后下一期活动呢其实是在下周六晚的8点，然后到时候再见啦。然后我们也预祝所有的小六考生 PSLE 取得佳绩 and wish all the primary 6 students achieve the best results in your PSLE. Okay, so enjoy your holiday and thank you everyone. Bye. Bye. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye in the live chat room. So, bye-bye, everyone. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.